Yeah, look, I mean, we're loving life at the minute, you know, just enjoying things. There's no extra pressure on us. We're just going with the flow. And right now that flow is red. But I'm not sure about Christian. You feeling any pressure, mate? You look a little worried. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. Today it is the Monaco Grand Prix as we go for not just 3 wins in a row, but 3 1-2 finishes in a row. It's unprecedented stuff at this team, team that I'm in charge of, to be fair. And yeah, well, Monaco, as we know, if we qualify well, we'll probably do okay in the race, won't we? So there's not too much to catch you up on in terms of any changes or updates to the car, because it's more or less we've just come straight back. It's been a 4-day break since the last race in Imola. And yeah, well, we can see we've gotten a little bit short on spares. There's a new underfloor coming that will be ready for the Sunday. Hopefully we won't need it, but yeah, it's not ideal around Monaco to not be a little bit short on spares perhaps. But let's have a quick look at what we're expecting here. A dry weekend, which is probably good for me. It's not great for the race. Red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3 for qualifying. We can take, I mean, we just saw Monaco in real life, didn't we? It is a very slow speed track. Some medium and high speed corners, but for the most part, it is just what it is. Low speed is the crucial thing. Now, we have seen historically a 2-stop can work here. And the safety car and virtual safety car, it's sort of hit and miss whether you get one or none. So, yeah, we're going to be a little bit flexible on that count. Soft to hard is the preferred strategy. Now, the soft tie-up does give you quite a bit of time. And like I say, I think what we've seen historically is that this track races well for Red Bull, doesn't it? That doesn't look good. It sort of races more like maybe like Monaco, old school Monaco, when the cars were a little bit narrower and a little bit easier to overtake. 2 cars in the top 4. Now that's putting some pressure on me. And yeah, we seem to find that getting a 2-stop and getting on the fresh soft tyres does tend to work, and you do tend to be able to overtake, which is great. If we could get that in real life, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? But anyway, let's head off to Monaco. So there we go, confirmation of the weather. I'll have my traditional annual bitch at Monaco during the race. But it wasn't good in real life this year, was it? It was bad. Anyway, I'll do free practice and I'll see you at qualifying. Alright, we have done free practice and it went pretty well. Most importantly, nobody crashed. But if we look at FP1, Oscar was there in 8th. Giovinazzi down there in 12th. Now, Giovinazzi, due to a crash he had earlier on in the season, his engine parts for free practice are worse than Piastri's, which explains, I imagine, the pace difference. Piastri 10th and 12th again for Giovinazzi in FP2. FP3, we had already nailed the setup, so we only did sort of very limited running just to try and get track acclimatization up as high as possible. And it was 10th again for Piastri and 17th. For Giovinazzi. So given old engine parts were in the car, I think it's looking fairly positive for qualifying here. Now, you can see there the difference. Giovinazzi has very, very old engine parts. So I'm expecting no problems in Q1. As ever with Monaco, though, it could be very dependent on what sort of traffic we get. Both cars have a perfect setup, according to the drivers, and that's really whose opinion matters on that one. So I'll do Q1, and hopefully I won't need to come back and show you a second run. So indeed, no problems at all. You will notice that Giovinazzi, we did have to send him out for a second run. He just made a mistake on his first run, I think. So it was never in danger. It was just he just needed to get a clean lap in. Those that have been eliminated, it is Magnussen in the Aston Martin, Ricciardo's Williams, the Mercedes of Norris, which is surely a shock, and then the 2 Haas's, as is traditional. Alright, Giovinazzi is under pressure. He is currently outside looking in. He did another bad lap. It was on used tyres, which maybe explains it. Now, we've come out a little bit earlier than we normally would, just trying to catch a clean track, which we have done, which is good. Purple, that's more like it, GIO. And, yeah, I mean, he has the pace, and Piastri's just gone purple as well. It shouldn't be, on pace, it shouldn't be a problem for us. But, yeah, Giovinazzi, he doesn't always deliver in qualifying, does he? He's done a green middle sector, and he's probably looking for about half a second here, which he should on, you know, because his tyres were that extra bit older as well after Q1, and he goes top. That should be enough, and Piastri will come across the line. Will he replace him at the top? Yes, he does. Well, that should be good enough for us into Q3, shouldn't it? So Verstappen has pipped us. It is so close between the top 5, though. Leclerc is doing a really good job, only of course his home race. Porsche has missed out, along with both McLaren's, Sainz's Alpine, and Stroll's Aston Martin. So on to Q3. It could essentially be the race, couldn't it? Let's see if we can lock out the front row. Alright, we are on board with Giovinazzi for the second run. We are currently 4th and 10th. Now, the first run was done on used tyres, and Piastri, who is 10th right now, massively held up by Leclerc through this bit coming up here, like the worst part on the track. So through this bit and then the lows, and then he didn't really get past, I don't think, until sort of the tunnel straight. So he was massively held up. He's done a purple first sector, though. Come on, Oscar. Giovinazzi's gone faster as well. Let's have a look and see if anybody else is... we should be the last 2 cars on track, I think, doing a quick lap. Nobody else is going any faster, so it is there for us. We're going to cross the line first with Giovinazzi. Can he go and stick it on the front row? He'll need to be pole if he can. Oh, he's 4th. Piastri. Where are you, mate? Piastri's gone 2nd. 5th, though, for Gio. That's not looking good for a 1-2, is it? So it is 2nd and 5th. Yeah, well, let's see what we can do with strategy, I suppose. Alright, so I've had a quick think about this. I think my plan is we're going to start on a medium. We know that we can, in theory, go on a hard and go to the end, or it should give us the option to go soft to the end. Now, the reason I say this is that it's going to depend on if we have that 20-second gap that we need between cars. So it's probably one of these things that ideally we need to commit to it perhaps a little earlier. But yeah, so that's as late as we would want to leave it, isn't it? To do sort of a push and then a regular stint sort of at the end. So and that would also sort of cover off a hard, wouldn't it? So I think that's what we'll do with both cars. If there's a gap for us to stop, then I think we want to stop. If there's not a gap, then we sort of alternate and just do a 1-stop and yeah, and sort of go from there. But I just feel like we've seen historically here that the 2-stop does work, because in the game, more so than in real life, you can overtake. So I think that's what we'll do. Yeah, Oscar's maybe can be a little bit more aggressive because he is a little bit further up the grid. So yeah, all right, let's see what this brings. Hopefully some overtakes. Alright, welcome back. So, let's see what we can do off the start line here. Can we get the better of Verstappen? If there's cars on soft tyres, that is going to hurt us a little bit, isn't it? And we have unfortunately not been able to get past the Williams of Tsunoda there with Giovinazzi, which would have made life a little bit easier for us, I think. And looks like Piastri has slotted into 2nd. So, on a hard tyre, we need to get Tsunoda. We need to get him very, very quickly. As Russell's having a bit of a look at Piastri, but he's got him covered there. So, here comes the annual session about Monaco. What did we think? I know I say it all the time. It's the first time in Formula 1 history the top 10 have not changed positions. They need to do something, don't they? I'm not even necessarily saying I would probably get rid of Monaco. Because I just don't think it suits the modern cars. I think if they can change and they have a contract, obviously, the track has a contract, so it's not going anywhere immediately. But I just feel like they either need to change the track layout a little bit. I've seen Joker laps, like you sort of just that part of the track we just left. There's the opportunity to sort of do like a rallycross style Joker lap, which I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan of, but it would add something at least. And maybe that's the answer. I think certainly what hurt it this year was that this isn't an original thought, obviously, but having the red flag at the start and being able to go the whole race on a set of tyres, so we didn't even get pit stops to look forward to. That obviously wasn't great. So I just think it actually just generally in Formula 1, in a red flag, you can change your tyres, but it's not a compulsory pit stop. Like, you haven't made a pit stop, you've come in for a red flag. So I don't understand why that is a rule. Surely that is a little bit of an easy one to fix, as Verstappen is just in danger of running away from us here, but we'll let him go. He might be using his battery. And yeah, but I wonder if it's, you have Monaco specific tyres and you have to make, say, 2 or 3 stops, whatever it is, and that maybe if you just even have just the 1 compounder tyre, or like a soft and an extra soft Monaco specific tyre. I don't know necessarily what the answer is. Maybe new regulations, you need to narrow the cars back up again. I did post a thing on Twitter, like it was like the 1988, 2008, and then the cars for this year. and I mean they're almost doubled in size, like length and width, to the old ones, to like the 1988 ones. And that was back when Monaco, it's always been difficult to overtake, but I remember watching it. And I'm not like I have watched Formula One like since I was like a kid, so like since like 88 or something, I think was the first season I saw the first, and I've barely missed a race since then. So I have seen, for someone my age, I have seen a lot more Formula One than probably a lot of people in their early 40s. But yeah, I just wonder if it's just got to be something. I mean, I think this is the first year I think I've seen drivers actively complaining about it as well, and that's not good. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments, what your suggestions are. I know somebody last time basically called me an idiot for get rid of Monaco. And the thing is that I sat there and I enjoyed it because it's Formula One, and I'll always sit there and enjoy it. But it wasn't a good race. Like it just wasn't good, was it? But anyway, I guess these things happen. All right, so we need to do something here with what's his face here to get past Tsunoda on his hard tyres. I'll try and charge everything up to have an attack on him, and I won't make you sit here and watch the back of the Williams. Alright, so we have charged up, we have caught up, we will now deploy. We're going to go sort of a bit of a full send into turn 1 here, and hopefully we're going to get the better of Tsunoda. We've got a good run up the inside. We should have that done, shouldn't we? Good job, Giovinazzi. And that's the difference between in-game Monaco and real-life Monaco, is that the game at least does let you overtake. So that's huge. He needed to do that. And yeah, hopefully now he can sort of push up onto the front three, I should say. Piastri is sort of holding the gap slowly. You can see a couple of tenths closing in on Verstappen. So we've got the pace in the cars again. It's just a matter of yeah, how it's going to work out strategy-wise and getting overtakes done. Now, in terms of the 20 seconds we need, you can see we've already got it back to Gasly. And, yeah, so we probably, 11 laps in, we're pulling a second lap on Tsunoda. We'd probably want to be looking to slip in at sort of ahead of him, I would imagine. So let's hope we can do that. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car.
Tsunoda in the barriers.
Tsunoda in the barrier, so he's crashed out from behind us. Now, it's too soon, and it's only a virtual safety car, so it's not going to back everybody up.
Okay, VSC deployed.
So I don't think we want to necessarily make a pit stop here, even though it does save you a little bit of time. Alright, so virtual safety car is ending. We'll get a bit of an idea about the gaps then. Now, that's pretty much meant we've conserved all the fuel we need to. The tyres are looking okay, although we need to be a little bit careful perhaps on the Piastri side of things. And yeah, Zoe also had a bit of he hit the wall or had a spin or something behind us. So that gap that we're looking to drop into is now sort of ahead of Ocon, who's on a soft tyre, and he will, I think he's on a soft tyre, so he'll be, yeah, he is. So he'll be coming in sooner anyway. So I don't know that we can get Leclerc. That's oh no, Leclerc's right behind Giovinazzi, so we definitely can't do that. We're looking at dropping into 6th now with the with Zoe and Tsunoda dropping out. So yeah, we want to have a nice 20-second gap back to Ocon Bottas, because Ocon, as I said, will stop before us. Well, this wasn't part of the plan. Leclerc, bit of DRS, bit of battery, I'm assuming, has caught Giovinazzi napping somewhat, and now we've got to get back past the AlphaTauri. Alright, well, Leclerc out of absolutely nowhere is flying up the road. Piastri is dropped back into the clutches if we sort of go off board here, or revision. We can see it's not makes you a bit sick, doesn't it? He's got George Russell behind him, and then Leclerc, who I think has just had 2 massive push laps because he's dropped back a little bit already. So it's, yeah, it's very back and forth, sort of like elastic band stuff at the front. If we look at last laps, yeah, so we're back in the low 16s, and Leclerc has just dropped back into that as well. The Red Bulls, though, are still looking quite good. So the danger here is that the Red Bulls are quite good at Monaco, I think, and we've seen this before. So it might be a case of we're not going to do 3 in a row and just try and limit the damage a little bit if we can. Now, obviously, there's still a bit of strategy to play out here. If we are going to do the 2-stop, you can see 20 seconds. We're 4 seconds away from getting that to Ocon. Actually, we're a little bit less than that because we've got that's to the leader, not to Piastri. But Ocon is going to stop probably soon, so he'll be out of the way anyway. So we're then looking at Bottas, and Bottas is, what's that, 14 seconds. So we do need a little bit of time still on him. He's doing 16.4s. We're doing, yeah. He's on a medium tyre as well, though. So, I mean, maybe we're looking more at Perez and Pourchaire, that will be stopping sort of after us. And they'll be on really old, hard tyres anyway. So perhaps, you know, it won't be that difficult for us to get a move done on them as well. But, yeah, just in this phase of the race, I would say we are struggling a little bit for pace. And Piastri, is he going to lose out to George Russell? It looks like he has done. So, yeah, this might be a damage limitation. How did he get past him there? Just maybe caught him napping. You've got to show him the wall there, Oscar. Just squeeze him right out. He's too nice, isn't he? Just been a bit too nice to him there. Alright, so we're in Piastri's pit window. He, of course, was coming a little bit earlier to not do quite so big a push. Giovinazzi could do a similar strategy as well. But what we're doing here, you can see Ocon, people are starting to come in and pit. So what I don't want to do is, if we come in earlier, then we'll get an undercut effect, obviously on the fresher tyres. So I'm looking at trying to find a 27-second gap for Piastri. And we're looking at sort of behind Stroll right now. What we don't need to happen is Ocon to sort of push into that gap. Now, Ocon has come out on a hard tyre, so he's potentially looking to go to the end. So, yeah, we're just keeping eyes on gaps and trying to make sure we come in at the right time. Piastri, I think, next lap, we'll get him in because he'll just about have used up his tyres at that point. So, let's come in for our brand new set of softs. And then let's get Giovinazzi in the lap after that. And hopefully this will work out okay for us. Our lap times last time around, 16, low 16s. Yellow flag. Here we get a safety car.
Looks like quite a big accident.
Quite a big accident. What has happened though? Hopefully it's not us involved. Crash involving multiple cars. Now is it actually a crash or is it a... It's Norris trying to come through, and that'll be Ricciardo. And
not just one car involved in that.
Whoa, Jesus Christ! He's fallen into the track. Are you okay, Danny? He's fallen down a manhole cover there. That's incredible. Anyway, so this is Piastri's in lap. He appears to have caught the back of... Oh, Leclerc's got past him, so that's not great. Anyway, here we go. This is huge. Off on these need to be good stops. 2.2. Time penalty for Ricciardo, which doesn't really affect anybody. That is Pourchaire, and that is perhaps not ideal, but we did get out well ahead of Ocon. And, oh, virtual safety car now, so that doesn't particularly help Piastri. It's a little bit disappointing for him, actually, but Ocon has crashed. Who this could help is Giovinazzi. So he will come in this lap. Now, what it might do is it might mean that everybody comes in, but they haven't. So he's going to get a cheap pit stop. He'll come out roughly with Piastri, a 2.3 second. Nicely done, boys. Is he going to get out ahead of him? It'll be harsh on Piastri if he does. There's Pourchaire, so he's right there with him. And, well, look at that. That's the virtual safety car for you. Alright, virtual safety car is coming to an end. We are going full push. We need to get past Pourchaire here as quickly as we possibly can. And we need to try and take the chunks out of Red Bull while we have a big tyre advantage. Verstappen is in the pit, so he has just missed that virtual safety car. That's a shame for him, isn't it? But unfortunately for us, we have also missed a big opportunity to try and take some actual time out of him. So he has come up. He is still in front of us. And yeah, we need GIO. We need to get Pourchaire out of the way here. We know we've seen Giovinazzi time and time again struggle to get the overtake done when we need it. Is he going to be able to do it here? Let's have a look. It's difficult. It's difficult into the chicane there, isn't it? So we need to kind of try and manage things a little bit here right now. And he's not going to quite have the DRS. Russell's in the pits. Now, have we done enough to undercut Russell? We've done a... Well, so Pourchaire's done fastest lap. Is he? He hasn't stopped, has he? How has he done fastest lap on old hard tyres? I mean, that's pretty impressive, let's be fair. But both cars have now jumped George Russell. So that's good news. Perez looks as though he is the block in the cork, or the cork in the bottle, or whatever the saying is. Let's... yeah, well, we need to get him out of the way now as well, don't we? Alright. This is ambitious, because it's going to be a DRS train. And, yeah, so this is going to be tricky as Verstappen drives off into the sunset. Alright, so we've harvested up Giovinazzi. We are going literally as hard as we can here now. And let's hope we can get it done. Pourchaire's gone defensive. It's not going to help him. There is one move done. Piastri, you can now go for it, mate. You can stop conserving your tyres. And let's see if Giovinazzi can get a nice quick move done on Sergio Perez here. We don't want to push the tyres quite that hard through this part of the track, though. He should be somewhat of a sitting duck. He's gone defensive, but round the outside. That is easily done by Giovinazzi. Move done. He can now set off after Max Verstappen. Piastri, where is he? He's got Pourchaire as well. Excellent work, Oscar. Now, can you go and get past Perez down this straight? That would be very nice if you could. He's looking at it, not quite there. Unfortunately for us, he still had a bit of DRS. He's going to try and do a Magnussen on Perez up the hill there. Thankfully, thought better of it. And yeah, we just need to try and see if we can get him through the tunnel, maybe. Where there is no DRS. Perez again goes defensive. Do we have an option down the inside? It's not quite there for us. Let's harvest up a little bit if we can. And I don't know if we're going to have enough DRS. I've maybe stuffed that up a little bit. And we deploy what we've got and try and get him down this front straight. He's not going to have DRS this lap, of course. We are indeed out of battery. Can we stick a move on him anyway? Oh, go on, Oscar. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. He can now drive off into the sunset. And let's see if we can run down Verstappen. And we were at half a second. Giovinazzi was faster than him. He is on a hard tyre. Everybody, it looks like, that's coming in more or less, that's in the race, is going onto a hard tyre to the end. So we need to make this work for us now. Alright, now we are approaching the pit window for our second stop. Now we are catching... Giovinazzi is catching Verstappen. The gap, the amount we're catching him is coming down a little bit. It has been about half a second. We're sort of looking more at a quarter of a second now. And that is, I think, just down to the tyres. Our tyres starting to get a little bit second-hand. Now, if we're looking at gaps, we need 25 seconds to the leader because we're about 5-6 seconds back. So that is going to bring us out. We're looking at Albon. Ideally, we want to try and push ahead of Bottas here if we can. But all these cars are going to the end on hard tyres with the exception of, I think it's Albon and Stroll on softs. Yeah, so they'll be coming in again, so they'll get out of the way anyway. So Bottas is really the one we want to try and look at. And then Piastri, we're looking at 31 seconds. Well, that's the same sort of gap there. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on things. Piastri's done a good lap that time. Giovinazzi, not so much. So, yeah, we'll just, as I said, just keep an eye on things. Pit stops will be coming up shortly. Yeah, just keep an eye on the tyre wear as well. But there's a big enough gap between the two cars that we could stop on the same lap if we needed to. So a 14.3 and a 14.6. Yeah, so the gap is starting to go the wrong way now for Giovinazzi. Of course, Giovinazzi will be this lap. Although there's an argument to say we do one more, given that he's just done a good lap time. But good in laps and out laps can be important, can't they? So, and we're just coming up onto traffic as well, so it is probably a good time to just look to jump out of the way here. So let's see what sort of lap time we get. Come on. Lap time pit stop, I mean. Off on go. It's okay. It's 3.2. Now, where are we looking? Did we get enough on Bottas? It looks like we may have, which is good. Piastri is the slight concern. Are we going to have it? 31 seconds. We've got to try and get out ahead of Perez, don't we? Of got to try and get out ahead of Perez. It's going to need a really good stop from us. And we might just have enough. And we're looking like it's 10 seconds. Giovinazzi back to Leclerc and Russell. Off on go. Oh, it's a bad one. We didn't need that. It's an extra 2. He hasn't had much luck, has he? He missed the virtual safety car and then he's lost an extra 2 seconds in the pits. And that is behind Russell and Bottas now. And without those 2 seconds, we probably would have just about got out in front of them. Alright, so Piastri has caught the first of our targets here. It is Bottas and Perez. Now, Perez is on a medium, Bottas is on a hard. This is going to be tricky because, obviously, they are both on older tyres, but also a DRS train. So we'll go full stand, see if we can get Perez here nice and early. Can we go around the outside, Oscar? Can you make that move? That's a brilliant one if he can, and he does. Can we now go and get Bottas nice and quickly as well? We probably need to be a little bit sensible here with tyre usage and whatnot, and know our limits. We'll have a little go out of here. Do we think we have enough charge in the battery? Not quite. So we'll harvest up and then we'll go again down the front straight, and with DRS that should be a fairly straightforward move, I would have thought. Send it in here, send it into the first corner. Come on, Oscar. 2 and 2. He's got him down the inside, doesn't he? Surely he does. And Piastri. On up the road you go now, mate. Let's see if he can chase down, Giovinazzi, who's chasing down Russell and Leclerc. Alright, so I don't know if we're too far back to have a go here at Russell up the inside, and Giovinazzi gets him, and we are going to have a sneaky bid for fastest lap here. I think we will have enough battery power. We've just got the DRS down the straight, which will have helped that pace as well. And hopefully Leclerc will not be in the way. And you can see Piastri's done a 12.9, sort of once he's free of those cars. So he should be able to run down these two as well. And it looks like we are going to get held up by Leclerc. Is it going to be too much to stop us getting fastest lap? We'll find out momentarily here. We could maybe even get an overtake done. We'll get DRS again. We're out of battery, but isn't enough to get fastest lap. It is. And even better, we get second place going into the first corner. So Albon's just nicked our fastest lap, which is just very rude of him. But doing sort of a normal lap without the battery and whatnot, we are a second faster than Verstappen. 17 seconds, and so we need a little bit more than a second a lap to catch him. So let's see if Giovinazzi can do that or not. Alright, so Piastri is now behind George Russell. Let's see if we can go and get him. That is easy as you like. And I wonder if we've got enough battery here to go and have a sneaky go to get fastest lap back now with Piastri. He's got 4 seconds up the road to Leclerc. So Leclerc shouldn't get in his way. And of course what this will do, hopefully, is massively close down the gap to Leclerc nice and quickly. And yeah, let's see, he's on a purple first sector. How are we doing for battery? We will just about get there. Purple second sector. No one to slow us up. Is Piastri about to go and set fastest lap? Surely he is. He's out of battery out of the last corner, which maybe hurts him a little bit. But there it is, fastest lap of the race. And 1:11.1. So 10 laps to go, 14 seconds to Verstappen. We're not catching him fast enough. And yeah, but we're on a 2-3 would still be a pretty good result here for us, I think, wouldn't it? And surely that's what we're going to get. Alright, so here we go. Hopefully Leclerc is not going to get DRS off these cars in front, and we can get that moved under turn 1. Not quite. Ouch. Ouch. Big ouch. Alright. Let's try again later. Alright, so what looked like it was going to be a fairly comfortable... oh! And he's out.
Dash positive, red flag.
Now into turn
Bloody Hasses. He probably did that himself, in truth, but unbelievable. He was going to finish third until we hit that traffic. Alright, now the one thing this does do is it does give Giovinazzi a very decent chance to go and win the race. Let's put on our best set of soft tyres. And there'll be 1 or 2 laps to go. It's going to be a cracking finish. Just a shame Oscar's not a part of it. Here we go. Everybody's going to be on soft tyres, aren't they? That's a bit of a no-brainer. It's just going to be down to whether... Oh, has he got in? No, I got excited. I saw us going past the car, but it was... Oh, Leclerc. We've got to get him up the hill here, mate. We've got to get him up the hill. Jump on board. We've got him. All right, so there is 2 laps to go. It's a thrilling finish. I did this in real life. And, yeah, I mean, it's suddenly not a great race for us in the Constructors' Championship because... yeah, Red Bull's going to score with 2. We're not going to score at all. But, of course, there is only 1 point between these 2 drivers in the championship. There's a very good chance that fastest lap will go. Piastri won't get a point for it now anyway. And this could be, there's no DRS, but this could be our last chance. Do we do aggressive overtakes? We know that Giovinazzi at the best of times is not a great overtaker. And Verstappen will be throwing every block move he knows. We've already got a 1.5 seconds over Leclerc, so I don't think there's any danger of him threatening us from behind. But I just don't think we quite have the pace of the Red Bull. I think if we weren't going to catch him anyway, I don't think on the hard tyre. We needed that tyre offset to have any real chance. Let's hope that Verstappen's not going to go and nick fastest lap here as well. He always certainly is, isn't he? But there we go. So it's going to be Verstappen first with fastest lap. Giovinazzi will come in second, and Piastri, if it wasn't for traffic, probably would have been third in that one. What a shame. So Giovinazzi up 3 places in the end, 18 points, so he will fall back behind Verstappen in the driver's standings. And yeah, just in truth, it was a silly mistake from him, wasn't it? That's what cost him. Looks like he hit the inside wall and then bounced out. Whereas would he have done that without the traffic? And you'd have to say probably not. But yeah, Leclerc on the podium for AlphaTauri, and George Russell got overtaken at the end there as well. So damage limitations on that front. So it is a 7-point gap now between Giovinazzi and Verstappen and the constructors. Yeah, that's hurt in the end. That's a bit disappointing. But update on the pit stops. We got a 3rd and a 5th in that one, and we are 4th overall. We're catching McLaren for 3rd. We could be on the podium in pit stops. This is huge. So there we go. No, we couldn't do the 3-peat, but I think when we go, we kind of just need to maybe say, that's the Red Bull track. We'll get them next time. So now, did we do any damage to Piastri's car? That is maybe the big question here. There's quite a bit of stuff missing in terms of... yeah, but that's okay. We can deal with this for the most part. I've got to wait and see. I've got to check if we are designing a new chassis. But the powertrain, how did that come out of that? Not too badly at all. Gearbox could be better, but that's fine. So anyway, guys, that is that. I will see you next time. It is Spain, and that could be a better track for us. Perhaps it's maybe more in line with the Miami and Imola sort of setups with the higher speed corners that we've done well at. So let's hope we can bounce back there. Not that that was bad at all. When we're talking about having a bad race and we finished 2nd, I think we would have taken that a few years ago, wouldn't we? Take care.